Nice episode. Could have been better, but not that much better. Alright, so Takeo gets back from tribal and Spencer does try and reassure everyone that he's going to change, but I didn't entirely buy that speech, and even then, his little speech is overshadowed by Terry's speech, where he goes, I went from being the penthouse to the outhouse, and now I'm still in a great position again without being in danger of being voted out at all. I'm good, but I'm like, not really, dude. It's just that this game is volatile in its social patterns, thinking things can change on a dime. And really, you yourself haven't done that much. It was a whole combination of things, you know? And I'll get a little bit more on him when I discuss his other big moment in this episode. Yeah, I've got some remarks to say about that moment. We'll talk about him, right? And if there was anything else really before the tribe, expansion, swap, dissolve, whatever you want to call it, I don't really remember it, but I don't think it really matters that much. If you think it does, point it out to me and I'll give you my thoughts, yeah. So, they end up going to free tribes, and I do like how it was all random, but the thing was, how did they get it so it was 3 males and 3 women on every tribe? Just what are the odds of that, huh? Shocking. I fully expected Jeff to do a random thing, yeah, but I thought he was gonna have, 2 separate things, one for the men, one for the women. I don't really care that we all ended up even, I just think it's unusual. And I really hope that all those people who are shocked are doing that because either they feel like they could be in jeopardy, or that they just simply weren't expecting the switch to be this early, because if there's still people who are shocked that they do switches, yeah, you shouldn't be, because most seasons have had a swap. I mean, like, here are the seasons that didn't have a swap. The first 2, but that was before, the thing existed, so in a way you can't really count them, so then you have Pearl Islands, but many people will say that the Outcast twist counts. There was a immunity offer in Thailand, no one took it, so they were doing something there. Palau, and they never explained why they didn't, that's kind of annoying. Tocantins, Samoa, HVV, Redemption Island, South Pacific. Yeah, so that's 5 or 7 out of 31, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Alright, so my overall impressions for the tribes were that the new Takeo did seem to have a bunch of powerhouses, and the new Bayon did seem to have a lot of strategy people, even though I think it was only half the tribe. And then that third tribe, which even though I saw the episode like an hour ago, I'm totally blanking on the name now, like Agron. Sorry, I can't remember the name right now. Okay, I'm just gonna call it the Yellow Tribe for this video. We'll just go with it, okay? Right. They just seem to be the tribe of misfits, which was kind of unfortunate because they had to start over. And peih-gee mentions that in her exit bit of how they didn't really seem to have that much stuff at their beach, which I think is kind of sad because, this isn't like typical situations where tribes have had to start over, because that's when they have quite a large amount of people, and even then, half the time where they start over, it's at the merge. So again, they still should have a good amount of people, but here it's 6 people, which is the smallest starting tribe ever is. They're in it, a week into the game, and 4 of these 6 people haven't won anything. So yeah, it's pretty bad for what these guys are going through. I did feel sorry for them there. And that pretty much sums up my thoughts on what was going on that tribe. So then the new Takeo tribe gets back, and we actually get some insight into Sierra a tiny bit, and I'm real glad that we did, because, a lot of people wanted to see her come back, and she's been kind of invisible. Not her fault, it's the editing's fault, because there was more going on to Takeo, because they kept losing. So that was nice. And then Terry launches into his other crazy speech this episode, where he goes, yeah, I'm on the bottom with the numbers, but I think we're doing good here, because we got very good draft picks. Joe, Keith, good strong men along with me. I'm with Kelly, who I really like, and then Sierra, and who was the other person? I can't remember the 6th person. Okay, whatever. That's not really important right now. Oh, it was Kaz, duh. He's like, yeah, we can do good with these numbers. We're going to win all kinds of things. It's going to be awesome. Well, here's the thing, dude. You do realize that, one, in Exile Island, your tribe originally was the better physical people, but then you won 3 in a row, lost 4, won another, and then lost the final main one. Okay, so you've actually kind of been in this spot before, buddy. And another thing, you do realize that you're going to have to win at a minimum 3 more immunities, but most likely it'll be 5 immunities, because they're not going to merge until there's 12 people. However, they could get lucky and win 3 in a row, because, hear me out on this. I think that there's actually a darn good possibility that once they get down to 14 people, they'll actually go back to 2 tribes. Now, I know what you're thinking. 2 swaps is kind of ridiculous. Well, they have done 2 swaps before. All Stars and Gabon, although both times it was kind of stupid because the second swap only lasted for 1 episode. And mainly that was them delaying the merge. Oh yeah, and there was the mutiny in the Cook Islands, yeah. So, that actually lasted longer, but of course they didn't know that they were going to do it, but again, that was a delayed merge. But I don't think they're going to do a delayed merge again. I mean, like, they could, but more recently, Survivor seems to be trying to stick to a real pattern, even though they kind of have screwed that up. Cagayan, anybody? Yeah. And then a little bit on Philippines, right. But yeah, just like, Terry, dude, actually think, okay? I mean, like, you've been watching the show, so don't you clue in? I mean, like, sure, when you're there, it probably will take longer, but... jeez, bro. And then, Kelly Wentworth throwing him under the bus. Well, the simple fact of the matter is, Kelly knows how to socialize Terry. He doesn't. He does say that he's getting better, but he's not doing that much better. Really, yeah. And based on what's been going on with some of these old school players, I'm really starting to doubt that old school players can kind of get in there. Now I know what you're thinking, Jeff Varner seems to be doing stuff. Well, here's the thing. It's less that he's making moves, it's more that he's mouthing off. Okay? Now, I mean, like, you can mouth off and cause a lot of things to happen. It's happened before this show, trust me, but, yeah. Righties. And then what was going on in the Bion tribe? Well, that's an interesting tribe because you've got all the guys who, are the more major camera time people this episode. Everyone's got their either underdog or self-awareness story. Then you've got the women who haven't really been doing that much this season, because like they have Kimmy and Monica who might have been Monica, who might have mentioned a few things, and then Kimmy didn't get featured at all despite being searched in the Idol. Like, have we even heard her speak other than the intro bit? Just come on, I wanted to get a little bit more from her, see how she's developed. We haven't heard a peep. Really, it's not like she didn't have a story to tell in Australia. She had a story because she, had the vegetarian issue, then there was the chicken issue, wave my finger in your face, and then she's responsible for causing her entire tribe to lose. Yeah, so, yeah. A lot of people forget about that last one. Yeah, kind of annoying there. And I was really amazed that the edit didn't focus on Jeremy that much other than the Idol, because I totally expected him to be the... talk to his original tribe, and he's going, yeah, we're tied together. But then after he walks away, he goes, maybe I should switch things up here. Yeah, I mean, like, what was the deal with that? I mean, like, he's talking to Spencer, so who he does have a connection with because of Mr. Survivor, A lot of people seem to be forgetting about that. I'm surprised they didn't mention that in the edit and how they had to have been talking to each other a lot in that situation. And I wonder, on a side note, how he's going to do when he's back on Mr. Survivor and in the polling results, Interesting. Whatever, we're not going to think about that for a few months now, yeah. But yeah, I was like, why aren't you trying to make a deal with Spencer? Or, like, make it more random, huh? Come on. This is your forte. Make deals that people don't expect you two, so it, puts you in a better place. Come on, Jeremy. But all they did was the idol bit. I mean, like, I totally thought that it would be him who got it just because he was talking the most, but yeah, I just wish we had that little bit more from him, and then how he grabbed that idol. Like, yeah, that was the smoothest idol grab ever. I'm surprised no one gave it a second look. I mean, like, sure, he did make it a little more obvious, but come on. Just easier to catch it? One guy already at the chest, huh? Because, like, you seriously don't need 5 people pushing the cart thing the whole way. I mean, like, that's a pretty narrow course, I think. Yeah. And then that immunity challenge, well, I love the redemption theme that they had going on there because the brain people, they were all on different tribes, so it was a question of who's gonna lose again. Even though people forget that Wu is also there and that he won, now he lost it, yeah. And I find it real interesting how Wu, once again, was... Actually, maybe it was Cliff last time. I can't remember. That was getting the key for his job, and Spencer was getting the key for his job again. What the heck? Yeah. And I loved how it was a battle between a Bion and the orange-yellow tribe, but I was glad that Bion got it because I wanted Spencer and Steven, to have a break, even though that would have made a very interesting tribal as to what Jeremy would have done, because I do want to see what this guy's going to do. Yeah. But I was fairly happy that it was those 2 tribes winning Takeo because I expected them to, and Bion, well, I wanted them to. And then we get that moment where Jeff is trying to mouth something to Kelly Wigglesworth, and I was like, what the heck are you doing, buddy? I mean, like, some people seem to indicate that he's saying something like Monica, but I can't read lips, just like I can't tell about accents for the life of me. And, like, I can't tell you how many comments I've gotten in both of my channels where people going, why do you talk like that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, how stupid can you be? And I'm like, well, screw getting an answer in this area. Like, seriously, people, explain yourself. But, like, I personally thought that Jeff was, like, bitching about the fact that he's lost the first 3 immunities. Well, he does realize 2 important details. One, that the odds of losing the first 3 immunities this season were 1 in 12, 1 out of 2, 1 out of 2, times 1 out of 3, And also, Jeff, you do realize that there are tons of people who have lost the first 3 immunities on this show and have actually made it to the end? Lillian, although that was a technicality, I'll admit that one. Earl, Suzie, Russell, Natalie, Mick, I thought there was one more. Denise and Jacqueline, yeah. Come on, dude, it's happened before, okay? And a couple of those people I mentioned have won the season. Huh? Come on, dude. But yeah, I was just like, what the heck is going on with that? And then apparently there was a lot more going on there with his antics as peih-gee reveals in her exit bit. I'm not going to recap all of that, but it goes to show that there's still a lot to Jeff that we aren't getting, and that he's still in the mouthing off bits. Yeah, So, Yellow Tribe goes back to their beach, and at first it looks like that the original Takeo members are probably going to target Savage, but then all the Takeo people keep talking to each other, and then the script gets totally flipped to, well, it's actually the only people that are safe are Savage and Tasha. That was fairly awesome, yeah. And, like, I couldn't really figure out how they were going to do it, because at first Jeff looked like he was due, but then suddenly it looks like that Abby is due, and then it looks like that peih-gee is due. Just, what the heck? So, all I knew was one of those 3 was going to go, but I thought it was a little more likely towards the end there that it was peih-gee or Abby. And that, and the one thing that peih-gee mentioned that I will recap is that apparently Jeff's bit to her, he actually didn't know completely at the time that Tasha, Savage, and Abby were targeting her. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person here. Well, you know what I'm talking about at this point, but it just so happened that his suspicion or made-up story was correct, yeah. You could tell I don't entirely get this little bit there, yeah. Such a bummer that we're running into this with every episode, but it is making this interesting, yeah. So at Tribal, it turns out that Wagner joins Tasha, Abby, and Savage, and votes peih-gee, which I was a little disappointed by, but if you're wondering why Tasha wrote the frowny face, well, that's because she actually shouted after peih-gee was walking down there, "It should have been Jeff, not you, I didn't want to do this." I wonder how that's going to play when they get back to camp, and if the edit's going to completely ignore that. I gotta really pay attention to that. So peih-gee going, I'm bummed to lose her because, in her last season, she was in the minority the whole season, never really got good footing, and here she had a chance at good footing, but then just in one of the most random shakeups that we've seen, at least in recent seasons, or possibly the entire show, it just turns against her and she goes. Yeah, I'm bummed by that. Someone who's wanted a shot of redemption for a long time and didn't really get a true redemption bit, although, it's not to say she didn't try. Yeah, I'll give her props for that. So then next week, how we've got 2 challenges. Jeff seems to think that we're going to love them. He seems to indicate, however, that the challenge that we saw in the next week thing is actually the immunity challenge, and I just love these leading the blind challenges, and I love how they actually go back to real puzzle pieces now, because that means that the hits are gonna be just insane. You remember this challenge in All Stars? That's one of the funniest challenges in the history of the show. Oh, I cannot wait to see what happens. Oh, and since we're down to 3 tribes, which tribe do I think is losing? I know that everybody wants me to pick the yellow tribe, but something that is actually telling me that actually Bion losing would be a lot more interesting, so that's what I'm going to go for right now, but I don't really care what tribe loses. I think this is going to be real interesting. See ya.